Hey everybody, it's Casual Boops coming at you with another video, and today we're doing the review of the Caliban. Caliban, I'm not sure. Caliban, one of the new Tier 8 tanks. It's the British premium heavy tank. It's going to be in the loot boxes. Do I think this tank is good? No, absolutely not. Do I think that you should? I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's in the loot boxes, so it's not like you can go buy this thing. But eventually they will put it on sale. So someday in the future, somebody might be looking at this saying, well, I wonder what this tank is about. Do I think you should buy this tank? No, it's a bad meme. It's a bad meme. So we'll get right into the stats here. So, yeah, it's if you'll notice right away, it's a giant derp gun. It's got a 152 millimeter caliber gun and an HE shell with pretty decent penetration, 180, which I guess, you know, for HE that's pretty good, but for we'll get into the more. So like it's got a big HE shell. It's also got a premium AP shell that has 292 millimeters of penetration. And the AP shell does 600, and the HE shell does 850. So you might be thinking, "Oh my God, this sounds pretty good." It's got a 2-round clip with it's an auto reloader clip, right? So you shoot the one, and if you don't shoot again, you will then start reloading the first one, but you'll have the second one good, you know, ready to go. And it's awful. This is just an awful tank. It is. You'll notice here. I'll just get right into it. So like the DPM looks okay, right? Except for it isn't. Even if you're shooting AP, like this is, it's just, you can't, the reload is horrendous. Like, God forbid you get ammo racked, you know, it's just 24 seconds or whatever. And you don't have a rammer, so you can't make this any better hardly, with maybe like food and stuff, that's it. But a 2-round clip, 3.75 intra clip is nice, I guess. If you, here's the thing though, you should probably never shoot the second round, because once you're in the deep reload for this auto reloader, it's like 38 seconds of hate your existence, sitting there wondering what you're doing with your life before you have one round, and then another 24 seconds of sitting and waiting to get your second round up again. So the intra clip almost doesn't matter, because you should almost never use it. The aim time is horrendous of 4.10 seconds, which is awful. The dispersion is artillery levels of bad, like 0.58. 0.58, like base dispersion, and you can get this better, but it's and then of course your on the move dispersion factors are also god awful terrible. They're just, everything about the gun here is just awful. It's just awful. There's no other way to say it. It gets 10 degrees of gun depression, which is okay. 33 top speed. Is obviously it's going to keep up with your other heavy tanks. Like you'll see in the replay, it's keeping up with other tanks. 18 power to weight makes it so that, you know, it is faster. Like I would like to put a turbo on the thing, because I think that 18 power to weight for a heavy tank, that's really good. But a 33 km/h top speed limit really keeps it, like, it's not going to be outpacing heavy tanks much. You know, it's going to stay with that pack. Yeah, 1500 health is a little bit below average. Let me see here. The camo is not very good. The view range is bad. The crew layout is god awful. This is the same crew layout. It's the same chassis as the GSOR tank destroyer, if you're familiar with that one, the 4-round clip. And because of that, I guess #historical or something, this has this same 3-man crew, which doesn't match anything else in the line, just like the stupid GSOR. So you're never going to have a crew that's optimized for this tank. Which is why, like, most people's loaders, I don't know, loaders and Radio Man. Wait, that's not what the, hang on a second. What's the tier 10? What's the Super Conqueror? Super Conqueror. Yeah, no, loader. Okay, loader and radio operator. Okay, so the loader is good. That's the same. Your driver is still your driver, and then your commander is also your gunner. So that's the part that's going to screw things up. You really can't. You're not going to have gunner skills trained in your commander unless it's trained just for this tank. So you'll never have stuff like snapshot, which would be nice, because, oh my God. So that's the stats. Let's get to the armor. It's got this weird kind of oscillating turret. I'll just show it live. So this is against its own HE shell. Let's compare it to, I don't know, just something else it'll see, like a 5100, sure. So this is the armor model, and it's not that great. Like you have this very angled frontal hull. It's 130 millimeters, which isn't a lot, but it does have 10 degrees of gun depression. So if you are, you know, I'm going to take it best case scenario. This is as good as it gets. And this is pretty good, I'll be honest, right? You can use all that gun depression and you get these angles, and this is what you get. You still have this tiny cupola, which is a thing. But like, you know, you got your lower plate, which you can hide, and this is what you see. So this, in this situation, this is okay. Obviously, not always will you be able to be using all of your gun depression all the time. And so most of the time, if you're looking at like flat ground at a Caliban, this is what it is. It's about 220 on the upper hull, which is it's not very good. You know, most tier 8s are going to pen this. Tier 8 tapping 2 is going to definitely pen this. The turret ring is about 270, so that means tier 8s probably aren't going to pen you there, but tier 9s and 10s are. And then of course this, you see that the turret is shaped, this got this semicircular cutout, and the cutout is a little bit weaker. So that's 145 millimeters of armor, but it's angled as such that you're probably getting about 250 effective. So the turret is going to be pretty solid for the most part against, you know, obviously tier 6s, tier 7s, tier 8s, even tier 8 shooting gold are going to have to tap, you know, like the turret is pretty okay. The hull is questionable. The lower plate is weak, and then you got the turret here. So like, that's the armor, you know, and like it can kind of side scrape, it can kind of do this kind of thing, but you really need to just be aware. It's got this like well, I take it back. No, this thing can't really side scrape because it's got this let's see, visual, this giant part of the engine deck that sticks up. As soon as you try to side scrape, someone's going to just shoot you right there, right? Like you're going to do one of these, and the actual side armor is okay, but you see this, there's no hiding this. So really what you need to be doing is poking a ridge and shooting people. If you can manage to do that with the god-awful gun handling that it has. Yeah, so for a tier 8 heavy tank, the armor is actually okay. You know, the turret and so on and so forth, it's usable, right? It's not like it's made of paper. It's fine. So, okay, so that's the stats and the armor, and let's get to, I'm going to do the build. This is how I tested it, how I would build the thing. If you choose to play this thing at all, because again, I did not enjoy the games that I played in it, because honestly, and I guess I'll get to this, like the HE, right? So you might be thinking, oh, I'll just shoot HE at things, it'll be great. Well, because the HE changes, if you hit something with armor and you don't pen, you know, I'm doing like, I did like 98 damage, 100 damage, you know, for 24 seconds of reload. And you don't have the accuracy is just horrendously bad. So if you hit a paper target, yeah, you're going to pen and you're going to do, you know, really, really good damage. But like, aside from that, it's really, you know, it's not a good time. Or you can tap 2 and you can use the AP rounds for 292 penetration. That is definitely like the way to go. The shell velocity on all of these rounds is really, really slow, by the way. But it's very expensive, right? So it's very expensive to be spamming the AP rounds. And even then, like, so you get a 1200 damage clip, but that takes you like, I don't know. It's just there's nothing about this. Like, I'd rather play anything else. Like, I'd rather play a Skoda T50 or a T56, because then you get a similar kind of experience with poking up, doing some damage, and then pulling back. Except this is just that much more punishing. So like, if you're using the AP, you might as well be playing something else. If you're using the HE, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be disappointed, and then 1 time out of 10 it'll actually hit the you know, you see a Scorpion G and you get a chance to actually pen it, and then you know, do 900 damage and then you laugh, and that's it. They're like, so this is just, it's a meme, but it's a bad meme. That's what I said. That's why I called this video what I did. So obviously we're going to go all-terrain suspension always, because balance is hard wargaming. I'm going to take the aiming circle size because that is superior. We can get the view range as good as we can. And then I went with a firepower slot, and like this is the build that I went with. And then the what I ended up doing here was improved aiming in the improved slot. Let me see here, a vertical stabilizer, and then I believe it was a, let's see, it doesn't get a rammer, so I think you might go vents. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's all about the gun. You're just trying to get this gun to behave as best as you can. You know, you're not going to have great view range. There's nothing you can do about this. Let me think about this for 1 second. Yeah, so like, I think this is how I would do it. Yeah, I think it would be vents. Yep. Yeah, I would, because I think I'd rather have that than a gun lane drive. You might be thinking, and a gun lane drive isn't like the worst decision. Normally, I would never advise that, but because the gun aim time is so bad, and vents are just kind of blah. Like you know what? Honestly, maybe this is a big maybe. But yeah, definitely you want to improved aiming, and you want a vertical stabilizer so you can quiet the gun down as much as possible. You know, I'm a tryhard, so I run food and everything. And you know, if your crew's got brothers in arms, you can get the final accuracy down to 0.48, which is still horrendously bad. And you'll see that. But this is probably how I would build it. It's just all about trying to make this gun connect, because it's all about the gun. You're spending most of your time reloading, to be honest with you. So without further ado, we'll get into the replay. All right, so we're going to start out on Malinovka. We're watching ZBest, another community contributor, playing in his Caliban, and I'll link ZBest's Twitch and YouTube accounts down low, down in the description. You guys should definitely check him out. And thank you for sending me the replay, man. I appreciate it. I didn't get a chance to, like, I played a few games in this thing and I just hated it. So I'm happy that that ZBest was able to send me something here so that I had something to show you guys. But you can see, like, you know, we're doing 33. And we're finally getting passed up by the Bisante, because the final, like, Bisante's final top speed is higher. But the power to weight is okay, right? And it's a similar sized tank to a Bisante, right? It's hard to get a scale for some of these things sometimes. But yeah, it's about the same size as a Bisante. And as we're going up the hill, now we're catching up with the Bisante. Are we catching up? I can't tell exactly. Yeah, we're catching up, you know, because up a hill, the power to weight advantage that we have in the Caliban is going to offset. Like, going down a hill, I think the Bisante is going to win, because the top speed of this thing being limited to 33 is going to hurt you so much more. But going up a hill, I think this thing is about as mobile as it can possibly be. This is the best case scenario. But yeah, you can see the aiming reticle. Just look at how this is like a T-49. It's like you're chucking a discus. There's no aiming here. And we're finally, you notice how long it took to load both of our shells at the beginning of the game. Like, this is just, like, and ZBest has correctly, I think, chosen to load the AP rounds, because again, it's all about consistency, just trying to connect. And he's expecting to see tier 8s. Sorry, we're all tier 8s in this game. Yeah, all tier 8s. He's expecting to see heavy tanks up here at the top of the hill, and so you don't want to shoot HE at the front of a heavy tank and just not pen and do 100 damage. So he's got the AP rounds to hopefully do as much damage as possible. We're going to poke up to this ridge. He's going to let the guns settle as much as possible. But look at how slow. Oh my god. Okay, and he lands the shot on the Bisante, but you can see how big the reticle was. Like, both of those shots landed, but you saw the reticle. Like, he had no right to land. Like, that was just so lucky. That he landed those shots. And so now, because he shot both rounds, he gets to sit here for 30-something seconds and hope that he's got support, right? Because this is the only way this tank lives, is if you're in close to make your gun work, but then you've also got friends around you to protect you while you're reloading, because he's finally got his second round is almost loaded. We get to sit here and wait. Okay, now we got 22 more seconds or so to wait for his second round before he can really engage. Because you wouldn't want to shoot. When you're on the deep reload, the last thing you want to do is shoot your last round and then wait for another 38 seconds. You definitely want to be just basically not even shooting your second round if you can help it, because it's just so long. And, like, it's so punishing. If it was an actual clip tank... Oh, we're going... Okay, wait. He's trying to aim. Look at how slow the thing aims in. It's just so bad. And he gets very lucky again with landing that shot. Even though the aiming reticle was huge, Z has gotten very if with some of these rounds going where he wanted them to go, even though the aiming reticle was massive, right? But if it was an actual clip, like a full-on normal clip, oh, wait for it as long as you can. Like, the fact that he was able to hit that, I just, like, it's not a skill thing. He just got lucky. He's got lucky with him able to hit that shot. The shell went where he wanted it to. But if it was an actual clip, you could use the intuition perk, and you could maybe you could take, I don't know, 20 seconds or something like that to change rounds to HE or back to AP or whatever. But because this is an auto reloader, it's basically extremely cumbersome to change ammo types unless you're already on the deep reload. And so basically, it takes like 60 seconds to go from empty drum to 2 rounds. So you have to plan out in advance, like a minute in advance, what you think you'll be shooting at. Is it going to be a soft target where your AP or your HE rounds will actually pen, or is it going to be hard targets where your AP is going to be needed? And so, like, it's just, if you guess wrong, it's just a bad time, right? Because then you're shooting premium AP rounds at paper targets, and that's frustrating. And so now, okay, Z is going to just aim the shot, but he's also waiting to load his second HE round, and waiting and waiting and waiting. Like I said, there's been a lot of waiting in this game, if you've noticed. But, like, there's no sense in shooting when you're not loaded and you're not fully aimed, because it's going to punish you so much. So we're waiting, and we see a Barask. Oh my god, did you see how slow the shell velocity was? Okay, so Z shot the shot there, but then he also reloaded, went for a full drum reload back to HE, I think. I'm not entirely sure why he's fully... Seemed like he would have had an extra round, but he decided to reload it, or something. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but he's back on the deep reload. There's an IS-3. I mean, we're in cleanup time. It's definitely... We're going to win the game, and we're just trying to get this last shot of damage on this even 90, wherever he is. And Z is assuming that this even 90 is going to be in the field in one of these bushes like they always are. And look at just how long it takes to reload and how long it takes to aim. And the shell velocity... And so, wow, we landed the shot on the even 90. That's just disgusting. So, like, this is what I'm talking about. This kind of game... Here, I'll pause it now. This kind of game is like almost the best case scenario, where like the shells went exactly where you asked them to, and everything worked for the most part. But like, you notice how much RNG was involved in that shot in all of these rounds. Every single one of these, the aiming reticle was twice as big as it should have been, and the rounds just magically went where he wanted them to. But they don't always do that, and so I would just caution you. I think that, like I said, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be disappointed with this tank. So I did not enjoy my time in it. I don't think I will be playing it very much. I don't think it's good for the game, because once in a while you're going to be in a tank and somebody's going to just shoot a Caliban shot at you across the map or something like that, and RNG is just going to take over, and Churchill's hand is going to guide the shell, and you're going to explode, and it's going to feel really bad. So, all right. So at the end of the game, Z-Best ended up taking home 4,225 damage and 1 kill. He got 360 block damage. I'm not sure exactly how that one happened. That ended up giving Z 1,039 base XP, which is a second-class mastery. And then Z ended up taking home, let me see here, total for the battle was 147, ended up with 99,000. But 27 of that was a personal reserve. So I think he would have come away with math. Probably would have come away with 50,000, I think, if the math works out here. I don't know. Tanks GGO kind of messes with the credit earnings, but you can see if you can manage to land the shots, then it can do okay. But also, like, this thing is really bad at landing shots. So tread with caution. I mean, I guess this is a loot box thing, so you don't really get a choice to whether you get this tank or not. But when they do offer this up for sale, just note the fact that this thing is it's the ultimate slot machine. So let me know what you guys think. If this is something that you think is good for the game or bad for the game, or if you agree or disagree with any of my choices or decisions or opinions, let me know in the comments. And I guess be sure to hit the like, subscribe button and the bell, I guess, because I'll be doing stuff every day for the Advent calendar and holiday ops reviews and all that kind of stuff. December is a big month. So thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one. All right. Bye.